What is up, guys? Misha here from Beyond the Huddle, and welcome to another video. And today's video is going to be our weekly altcoin forecast. So before we even get into the altcoins, we'll take a look at, we'll kind of review what we spoken about yesterday on Bitcoin and how things have been developing ever since. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at our altcoin index to kind of gauge whether or not we're seeing Bitcoin outperform alts, or is it the other way around where alts are actually outperforming Bitcoin. And then we'll take a look at the Ethereum chart. So we'll see what are some of the key levels that we should be paying attention to, and what we could potentially expect Ethereum to do within the next couple of days or so. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, guys, right now we are looking at Bitcoin. And if you guys remember yesterday, we mentioned how the smart money was reducing exposure, which means they were closing both longs and shorts while the price was rallying. So that was telling us that we shouldn't expect too strong of a push on Bitcoin at the moment until we get the next report on Friday to see if they were adding more longs, or maybe we should expect an actual pullback on Bitcoin if we see them start adding more shorts. So right now we're actually seeing a small pullback today. We're retracing within yesterday's candle. But overall, we are still above the weekly open, and we're also above, most importantly, we're above this short-term level, which is around the 54,000 level. And as long as we stay above that, we should be good for bullishness, but we got to pay very, very close attention if we do come down and hit this level, because if that does break, then you guys already know what I said yesterday. We should see a price drop down into the discount right here and potentially hit this monthly and quarterly open. Now, if that were to give way, that would not be good, because at that point, we would be challenging our longer term monthly level, which if that breaks, that's not really good for Bitcoin. So if you guys want to see more bullishness in this market, we definitely want to stay above that. And if we do break, then we definitely want to see this discount get respected. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. And obviously we'd have to see what the COT brings on Friday to see if the smart money has been actually adding longs or maybe even adding shorts, because guys, we've broken the actual premium right here, which is the technical premium, which is a 61 to the 78, but we are still within a premium because anything above the 50% is technically a premium. So as long as we don't break this all-time high, if they keep adding more shorts around this zone right here, that could also lead to a bigger pullback. So we're going to be paying very close attention to that. But if they've been adding longs throughout here, then you guys could expect potentially all-time high to get broken. So again, guys, we take things level by level. We don't try to project too far into the future. We take things week by week, month by month, level by level, and we base our actions or trading decisions on whether or not certain levels get broken or not. So with that said, guys, that's going to be it for the Bitcoin recap. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the altcoin index to kind of gauge whether or not we should be focusing on Bitcoin or on altcoins. And actually, quick note before I forget, guys, I almost forgot to put this in the video, guys. Yesterday we were talking about this discount right here on Bitcoin, how this got hit, and how our first target would have been the negative 27 extension. And as you guys can see, we definitely have hit that negative 27 extension, and that makes sense as to why we're seeing a pullback right here. So again, we're going to have to pay very, very close attention to what happens if we do break below these levels right here. And right now, I think Bitcoin is sitting right at a 4-hour discount. You guys can see there's a 4-hour demand right here. So all these are going to be very important levels that we have to pay very close attention to. So yeah, just wanted to make sure I added that to the video, that we did actually hit the negative 27, which is a level where you could start to expect a pullback from. So let's go ahead and actually look at the altcoin index now. All right, guys, we are now looking at the altcoin index. And first off, we're going to start with the yearly time frame. And we can see that overall this year, altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin, which no surprise there. Now we drop down into a quarterly time frame and things starts to get interesting, because now we're seeing that this quarter, Bitcoin has been outperforming altcoins. Now, obviously, we're only about 12 days into the quarter. So that does not mean that this quarter is going to completely be bearish, because we could very well be creating the downside wick of this quarter. By the way, this is the altcoin index, and if you guys look at the formula right here, it is total 2 divided by BTC USDT. Total 2 is basically the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, and then we divided by Bitcoin to kind of have an index that shows us whether or not Bitcoin is outperforming the market. And if you look at this, it is pretty much the inverse of the Bitcoin dominance. So whenever this is going higher, that means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. And whenever it goes lower, that means that Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. So right now, that's what we're seeing, Bitcoin outperforming altcoins. Now, if we drop down into a monthly, you guys can see that same thing as the quarterly. Again, the quarter started this month, so makes sense as to why they're both bearish. It's the same candle. We are below that quarterly open. We are bearish, but notice what's going on here. We're sitting right on this monthly demand right here. So that's going to be an important level, because if we're able to see a bounce off of this level right here, that would tell us that maybe this month might not end up being a bullish candle, but there's a potential for next month to actually end up being a bullish candle on this index, which means that alts would start outperforming Bitcoin. So let's go drop down into a weekly time frame to have a better look at it. And as you guys can see, we are definitely at a weekly discount. Free draw fibs, and let me stretch it a little bit. You guys can see right here, we hit the 61. We drop inside this discount area right here. So we're going to be stalking this area for a reversal signal. And if we do get a reversal signal down there, that could lead to a potential rally, which would then mean that alts would outperform Bitcoin. And this is very important to know, guys, because we are within the last quarter of the year, the fourth quarter. And usually these are some massive quarters for crypto when we're in the bull market. So if this bull market is not over, and this quarter is going to be a massive quarter, it's going to be very, very important to know whether you want to be in Bitcoin or in altcoin. And this is one way that you might be able to figure out where you want to be positioning yourself for the fourth quarter move. Okay, so very, very important for us to pay attention to this index. Or if you want to look at the Bitcoin dominance itself, you can do that as well. It's just the same data inverted, and you'll get the same analysis off of it. So that's what I'm looking at on this altcoin index. And if we drop down into an actual daily time frame, you guys will notice that we are starting to see this bounce right here off of this monthly demand. And if we look at it on the smaller time frame here, which is the daily, we can see that we have this daily demand area right here, these two down candles. You guys can see we hit it to perfection, and now we're starting to bounce. So seeing what we do around this weekly open and around this monthly open is going to be very, very important. But if we do go above the monthly open, that will be an indication that maybe we'll start seeing alts start outperforming Bitcoin, and then we target this monthly / quarterly open, and then from there you target higher levels. So that's gonna be it for this altcoin index. And then now we're gonna be taking a look at the Ethereum chart, and we'll kind of see what we could potentially expect Ethereum to do within the next couple of days or so. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, guys, right now we are looking at the Ethereum USD chart, and as you guys can see, prices are not down as much as Bitcoin, and we already saw that based on the fact that alts were outperforming Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin is dropping, alts are not going to drop as much as Bitcoin. Now, does that mean that every single alt is outperforming Bitcoin? No, that's not the case, but the majority of alts are outperforming Bitcoin, and Ethereum is one of those that is actually outperforming Bitcoin. And we can see it right here. Ethereum's only down about 1.3% on the day, and we see this massive wick to the downside right here on this daily candle. And if we look at it on a bigger picture, guys, we look at it on a quarterly basis, we can see that last quarter closed bullish, and then this quarter open, we are still bullish. Last month was a bearish candle, and that bearish candle last month was coming down into what, guys? It was coming down into a demand level that we had, because we had the discount right here, which we failed to come down into that discount. We hit about the equilibrium price point of the weekly range. But when we look at it on a daily time frame, you guys remember we were talking about this discount right here. So from swing low to swing high, came down into this discount. We had this daily demand marked out. Price barely missed it, whereas on Bitcoin it actually hit the daily demand target that we had. Here we barely missed it, and then we started rallying from there. Now, if you guys notice, on Ethereum, we have not yet reached towards the negative 27% of this entire range right here, this discount. But on Bitcoin, that's already been hit. So, and that explains why you guys can see how Bitcoin's been outperforming the entire market this quarter / month. Now, what are some of the important levels on Ethereum? We already know that we rejected off of this daily supply right here, and then we came down, almost hit this demand, which is the discount. Now we're coming back up. Now, Ethereum just bounced off. If you go to a 4-hour time frame, see all these levels. Ethereum is kind of stuck between this daily open and this weekly open. So until one of these two levels break, we're kind of sitting in a consolidation right here. But if we were to break to the downside and break below this weekly open, then I would expect prices to come down into a discount of this range right here, which would take us towards the monthly and quarterly open. So if I go back into a daily and we pull our fibs from swing low to high, there it goes. You guys can see discount sits right here, right around this monthly / quarterly open. And if not, then we would see prices break above the daily open and then continue an uptrend, which would take us back up towards the all-time high. And obviously, like I just mentioned, we have our negative 27 extension, which is right above the all-time high right here. So, but before we even get to that, guys, we have this supply zone right here, which if I draw this one out, you guys will notice that we have almost hit this one right here. We pretty much failed to hit it right here, barely missed it. And you guys can see a common theme right here, barely missed and barely missed, right? So I guess that's how Ethereum likes to do things. It likes to barely miss our levels. But nonetheless, that's also going to be an important level once we do hit that. That's the bullish candle right here. You could also look at this bullish candle all the way up here. But since this bullish candle is within that one, I decided to go with this one right here because it pretty much encompasses this entire candle right here. So that's what we're seeing on Ethereum, guys. Again, slight consolidation happening right now between the daily and the weekly open. We have to break one of them to have a good idea of which way this is going to be headed. But based on what we're seeing on Bitcoin, if there's a pullback on Bitcoin and Bitcoin were to continue to outperform alts, then we can see a stronger pullback on alts. But if the altcoin index, which we were just looking at, if it starts to bounce off of this level right here, then we could potentially see Ethereum starts to break to the upside. And that wouldn't be the first time we've seen Ethereum break to the upside while Bitcoin is dropping / consolidating. We saw a similar scenario back in April, May of this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that happen. But again, I'm not projecting that. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take things level by level, week by week, COT by COT. That's how we do things here, guys. You don't want to project too far into the future. You don't want to marry ideas. You don't want to marry trades. You want to flow along with the market, react to what the market is doing, not trying to predict what the market is going to do, because most of the times you are going to be wrong. And even if you are not wrong, it's all about the execution. So let's focus on the levels. Let's focus on the COT and seeing how things develop, and then we'll be able to take advantage of these moves. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. And with that said, guys, I will see you in next week's video. Peace.